I mean, of course, you can use, your own. You can upload them from your computer, but you can create really professional ads in a matter of seconds, literally. And consider using video ads. Even if you don't have videos, Google has a really amazing tool that allows you to create one. And these are mobile ads. So for a lot of people are using cell phones these days to do a lot of searches. I mean, it's overwhelming. You just walk on the streets and you see, thousands of people just taking their phones all the time. So a few years ago, everybody was recommending not using mobile devices. But now that most telephones, most smartphones have, full feature browsers, and they can see any website the same way a computer does, this is a really cool thing for you to consider, especially if you have a local business and people are searching for, like pizza restaurant or hardware store. Absolutely. And the way you do this is when you're setting up your campaign settings, where you have to choose your device, you have to check on iPhones and other mobile devices with full internet browsers. I just realized that I forgot to put the numbers for some of these tactics, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, these are a couple of ways you can find more keywords for your campaign. The first one is the Opportunities tab. And this is probably a little bit too small for you to see, but Google AdWords does a really good job making recommendations as far as how you can increase the performance of your campaign, how you can improve it. So, they suggest some budget changes and some keywords that you can add to your campaign. So, for example, for the surf and turf campaign here, they found 80 new keywords that they think are going to work great for me. So this is a really, really great way to find new keywords. Then we have the search queries report, and we talked about this before. You can access this from the reports tab and go through the list of keywords. And before we were talking about how to use this to find negative keywords, but you can also search for this to find keywords that you haven't thought of before, and maybe even expand on those keywords using the Google keyword tool and find variations for those keywords. And the same thing you should do with your top performing keywords. So sort your keywords by the cost per conversion. See which ones are costing you less to make money and which ones are getting you the most traffic. And take those keywords and find variations of those keywords using the Google keyword tool. Then there are 4 different types of matches. You have the exact match. So when people search for example, blue sweat shoes, they'll find your ad because it's between brackets. Okay, and between brackets means that people will have to be looking for that specific keyword. When you put your keyword between quotes, that means that people had to be searching for that phrase, but they can put whatever they want before it or after it. Okay, so for example, right here, if someone searches for buy blue sweat shoes online, they'll find your website. Okay, because although there's an online after and a buy before, you still have blue sweat shoes here. Then, not a lot of people know this, but you can use a broad match modifier. So in this case, you have plus blue, plus sweat, plus shoes. And basically, you're telling Google AdWords that you want to find these 3 terms. But for example, if someone searches for shoe instead of shoes, Google will still show your ad because shoe and shoes are really similar. Okay, but if someone searches for red, they're not gonna find it because it's a completely different keyword. And then we have broad, and with broad matches, you can basically you're telling Google, I mean, this is what I sell, this is what I have to offer. But if someone searches for something remotely similar, show my ad anyway. And the reason why I wrote bid accordingly here is because you always want to bid the most for the exact keywords, and then a little bit less for phrase keywords, and a little bit less for broad and broad here. Okay, so for the exact keywords, you always want to pay a little more because, you know, if someone's searching for specifically that keyword, then, you know, yeah, sure, you want to pay a little more. But if someone's searching for, you know, something that is remotely similar to what your keyword is, then you don't want to pay the full price. And my rule of thumb is always, if you're paying $1 for the exact keyword, discount 25%. And that would be the bid for your phrase. So that would be 75 cents. And for these two, it would be 50 cents, another 25% less. Okay, so $1, 75 cents for phrase, and 50 cents for the broad match modifier and broad. That's it. Thank you. That's my contact information. So I will be taking some questions now, but if I mean, we have a lot of people on the call, so if I can't answer all the questions, feel free to send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer your specific questions. Next week, we're going to have a link building webinar that you can find on our blog, but it's not there yet. But check tomorrow, because I was still creating the landing page this morning and I didn't have time to finish it. So this is going to be a really amazing webinar. Everybody wonders, you know, how to do link building and how to use it to increase your search engine rankings. And we have a really amazing link building person on the team that put together this really cool presentation. So check tomorrow on the blog and you'll be able to sign up there. Okay, so we're going to do questions, and you can download the slides from here. So it's bit.ly/Zeek-AdWords. It's AdWords with an S at the end. Okay, and in case this is your first time using GoToWebinar, you can use the GoToWebinar tool to ask all the questions. There's a little box for questions. So just go ahead and type your questions there, and I'll answer as many as possible. Alan is asking me, what about using the keywords in the title of the ad? That's a really good idea. For two reasons. The first one is it will increase your quality score, and the second reason is Google highlights the keyword people search for throughout the whole page. So that will make your whole title bold, and more people will click on it. Chris asked, if you have a small budget, does it make sense to use exact match exclusively? Yeah, I think so. If you have a small budget, you always want to start with your core keywords, the very specific long tail keywords. So, for example, if you offer web hosting and you only do it for, you only have Linux servers, you want to start with Linux web hosting. And if you're if you offer premium web hosting or dedicated, start always with your core keywords, the more specific ones, and use exact matches. And then as your budget grows, you can always expand from the center farther out, and you can get more keywords, get well, increase your budget, get more keywords, and change. Well, you can still keep your exact keywords match, but you'll also want to add the phrase and broad. Richard just asked if this webinar is being recorded, and yes, it's gonna be posted on my blog by the end of the day. So Mike is saying the same thing. He missed the beginning. Yeah, it's gonna be posted right here. So let me. That's the blog. Yeah, the outsourcingcompany.com/blog. So check at the end of the day, and the video will be posted there. And the slides are actually online already here. Angela is asking me if I also offer a basic pay-per-click class. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing about one or two webinars every month. But let me give you the link to. So if you go, okay, there's a blog post I wrote that I think will be really good for you. So if you go to our blog and then you scroll down, click on pay-per-click. And you want to read this one. It's called The Only Pay-Per-Click Guide You'll Ever Need to Read. Okay. Imran is asking me about the traffic estimator tool. And he's saying there's a little mismatch between the data he gets from different sources. It's really, it's a good tool to use just to give you an idea of how much traffic you can get and how much you'll be paying for your clicks, but it's not very accurate. I mean, just keep that in mind. Mike is asking me if it makes sense to put the keywords in the meta tags like meta descriptions, meta keywords, and page titles. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's part of making your landing page relevant, so your quality score is high. Richard is asking how much we charge for managing pay-per-click campaigns. Well, it depends on the campaign. I have your phone number. I'll give you a call and we can talk a little bit more about your specific campaign. Okay, guys, I actually have to run. I have a meeting in about 15 minutes, but I appreciate you all coming here. I look forward to seeing you next week at the link building webinar. Okay, have a good day.